Okay, in this video, we're going to go ahead and set up the user permissions in QuickBooks Premier. All right, so you go up here to Company, and you go down to Set Up Users and Passwords, and Set Up Users. Okay. Right now, you see you're logged in as admin, and we want to add an additional user who's going to come and work on the same computer as us, but they are going to do some data entry for, let's just say, accounts payable. So I'm going to go ahead and add a user here. All right, we're going to say Joey and put in a password for Joey, and he can change it later. Okay. Now, if you are planning on having Joey work in the file at the same time that you're working in the file, you will have to buy an additional QuickBooks license to do that. Okay. So then it asks you, what do you want this user to have access to? You can say all areas of QuickBooks, just click it off, but that's usually not the case, right, when we're hiring employees. You can have selected areas, which is what we're going to go through, or you can have the external accountant. If it is an external accountant coming in and just reviewing your work, you can give them external accountant and access right there. Okay, but we're going to say selected and go through that process. So here's sales and accounts receivable, and it's asking you, does Joey have full access, selective access, or no access? And then if you choose selected, you can even say create transactions only, create and print, and run reports. Okay. Also, if they have access to the credit card numbers. All right. But since this is an accounts payable person, we're going to say no access here. Purchases and accounts payable. Right now, we want Joey to have selective access, and we want him to be able to create transactions only. I don't want him to print checks because that's going to be my job. And we'll say transactions and reports because sometimes he'll have to run some accounts payable reports. Now, when it says reports, that means under the report section here, when you scroll down to vendors and payables, that's the area that he's going to have access to, and all of those reports. Okay. And I'll show you that at the end. So next, checking in credit cards. Does he have access to create checks, to enter credit card activities? And we'll say that he can create transactions only, okay? All right, inventory. Let's see. I think that he would need full access to inventory since he's a purchasing person. Okay, that's creating transactions, creating reports. He needs to be able to see what we need to purchase, right? Time tracking, no access, or selective access. So he can create his time tracking. He can enter his time in here. Maybe that's a good thing. Or he can enter in other employees' time cards. So maybe that's actually a good thing. Payroll employees. So he's going to have no access to payroll and employees. But you can, if you look down here, you can create transactions, create print, e-pay, e-file, and then also create reports. But he's not going to be doing payroll. Sensitive accounting activities, such as making journal entries, transferring funds, doing online banking. Okay, does he have any access to this? And we're going to say no. But just so that you see, you can create transactions, create and print, and then also create transactions and create reports. But we're going to say no to that. Sensitive financial reporting, so the higher level reports. Does Joey have access to that? And we're going to say no. And then you can see here, you can create the reports or you can create and print the reports as different levels of access. Okay, changing or deleting transactions. Do you want Joey to be able to change a transaction in the area that he has access to? So if he enters a bill incorrectly and then he needs to go back and change it, you probably want to say yes to this because there might be, a couple errors here and there, and you don't want to have to come in and fix it every single time. Okay. Should this user also have the ability to change or delete transactions that were recorded before the closing date? And I'm going to say no on that. So we don't want him going and messing with our closing date. All right, and then it gives you a little summary of the different areas that you gave Joey permissions to, and you can go ahead and say finish. Okay. All right, so then there's Joey as a user, and we can go ahead and log off and let Joey log in, and he'll be held to his user permissions. The reporting thing that I was telling you about under here, so under vendors and payables, these reports would be the reports that he has access to. Or with inventory, if he had access to inventory reports, these would be the reports that he has access to here.